smoke is disappearing, exposed our broken feelings. I don't know how we got here.
What up YouTube? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sherry. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is wonderful in your world. So today I'm back with another video in my week of series where I take a palette and I use it for an entire week, sometimes a little longer, and create multiple looks, just kind of trying to do a variety of different looks from anywhere from very subtle and everyday to very dramatic and glamorous, and just seeing what the versatility of a palette is, what are some really standout shades as far as excellent quality, what are some shades that gave me a little bit of trouble, and just kind of give you a thorough review of it because I've used it long enough to be able to give you that thorough review. You guys know I'm in that mind frame. That's my vibe right now, is really digging into my collection, giving a palette a really good chance to figure out if it's something that I want to remain in my collection or if it's something that hasn't really earned its place there. So if you would like to see, you guys already know. I was gonna say, if you would like to see if this palette's gonna remain in my collection, you already know that it's going to. This palette's not going anywhere. It's near and dear to my heart. You understand why. I don't even have to explain it, so I'm not going to. So moving forward, I'm going to show you some pictures of the looks that I created with the Once palette, also show you the shades that I used, give you any tips or tricks that maybe will help you use those shades more effectively, and just kind of show you my process of creating those looks. So if you would like to see my week of, I have to do the little quotes, week of Once, then please keep watching. Alright guys, the very first look, I was dying to get into these beautiful purples that were in this palette, and oh my goodness, I think this look turned out so gorgeous. And so I started off with using the cream on my brow bone, like I did in almost all of these looks. And then I went in with the very light dusting of Midwest as a transition color. And then I went on to put Belle Violet. I used both of her girl names. I used Belle Violet on the outer edge of my lid, and then I used Eve Rose on the inner part. And then I used the shade Family, a mix of Family and Pi-Fi together to deepen out the outer corner. I kind of did the same kind of thing on my lower lash line, where I just kind of combined the two purples and then smoked it out with Midwest. And then with Midwest, it is hard to look at these upside down without blinding you with the mirror. And then on my inner corner, I used Oh Heavens. This is one of my favorite looks from this week of Once. I was feeling myself that day. Alright, the next look I wanted to do a very pinky look, and I was drawn to the color Cupcake because you guys know me in pink. I love this shade. It's beautiful. And so I did find out that with the shimmers, I did do better with wetting the brush. I also did follow her instructions and use the pat and drag with a flat, like concealer type brush. I used a MAC 242. But into this look, I started off with a very light application of Pi-Fi in my outer corner. I just wanted it to be very simple, and so I used Pi-Fi in my outer corner, on the very extreme outer corner, and then I took Cupcake and I smudged it in on the first 2/3 of my lid. I put Oh Heavens on my brow bone this time and also on my inner corner, and then I took Pi-Fi and smudged that underneath my lower lash line. It was a very simple look, but I think it's very pinky and pretty, and I really love this shade Cupcake. It actually came off a little bit more peachy than I expected it to, but I still think that the look turned out really pinky and beautiful. For the next look, I wanted to really accentuate this Oh Heaven shade. I wanted to see how it performed as a really bright inner lid, like inner 2/3 of the lid. But I did start with the cream on my brow bone. I then went into a mix of Midwest and Dews Paid very lightly in my outer crease. I deepened up the outer crease, the extreme outer V, with Apartment. And then I took my finger, and fingers do work really well with these shimmers. And then I took my finger, and the shimmers do really work well with a finger. And put Oh Heavens on the first 2/3 of my lid and just kind of blended it out. And I think it turned out really pretty. I love a really bright inner lid, and Oh Heavens worked great for that. And I also did put that on my inner corner as well. The next look, I was really inspired by this peachy shade. I just really wanted to do something really warm but also smoky. And so I started off with the cream on my brow bone. I pretty much did that the entire time. There were times I did pull Oh Heavens in. But I went in for my transition, I used the shade Prayer, and out of this entire palette, that's my favorite shade. I love it so much. So I put Prayer all in the crease, and then I went in with Laugh, Cry, and really warmed up the crease from there. After that, I took Heartbeat and used that also on the crease. Even though it's a shimmer, it worked really well for deepening the outer crease. And to deepen it even further, I put Pi-Fi there. On my lower lash line, I used Prayer with just a little bit of Laugh, Cry, just to warm it up and smudge it out underneath. And I love the way this one turned out. I loved how all of them turned out, but this one, it was definitely a pinky Sherri look, a signature Sherri look. Pink is my signature color. What movie is that from? If you know, put it in the comment section. If you know, you'll earn brownie points with Sherri. Alright, so I wanted to go for a super warm look for this next look, and it is warm and beautiful, and I love this one as well. I started off with the cream on my brow bone, and then I went in with Midwest as a transition shade. I warmed it up further with Dues Paid. Then I went into the shade Cheer to really put that really nice warm burgundy pop on the outer corner. I took Cupcake and used that on the inner corner, and I just kind of ombre'd from here to here to here on my outer corner. I took Cheer and smudged that under my lower lash line. It was warm and beautiful goodness. I did most of these looks as I was getting ready for work and just took some pictures of them before I headed out for work, and so a lot of these are really simple. So here comes another simple look, but I think it's still really pretty. I started off with the cream on my brow bone and Oh Heavens on my inner corner. I took Prayer and put it all over in the crease and just really blew it out and went back in with it and deepened it a little bit in the outer corner. And then took the shade Cupcake and put it all over my lid. And then I took a little bit of Prayer and smudged it on my lower lash line. And that was it for this one. And finally, when I look at this palette, another one of my absolute favorite shades is Corduroy. It is the most vibrant, beautiful green, you guys. I can't even get over it. And there's also Side Hustle and Grateful. These two green shades that are so pretty, and I'm like, I have got to make an all green look. And so I did. I kind of wanted a dark to light ombre across my lid, and I think that's what I got. And I think because Midwest is such a warm and pretty color, it was a perfect transition. So I went into the cream for my brow bone highlight, and then I used Midwest as my transition shade all across the crease. And then in my outer corner, I put in Side Hustle first. I put Side Hustle on first, and then I ombre'd into Grateful, and then I went into Oh Heavens on the inner corner part. I also took the shade Corduroy and I put it in my outer corner to deepen that, and I deepened it even further with Dark and Early to make it just a little bit deeper on the outer corner. I then smudged Corduroy all over my lower lash line and made it really intense and vibrant. I put Grateful on the very inner area of my lower lash line and deepened out the outer corner of it with Dark and Early, just to make it a little bit darker on the outer corner there. This was one of my favorites too. Just absolutely beautiful greens in this palette. You guys, I had such a good time using this palette. It's a beautiful palette, and you know it has a special place in my heart because I love Emily so much, and I was just so happy and proud of her for doing a collab and coming up with something that she was super proud of. But I love the versatility of this palette. I think I could have used this for another week and come up with a whole nother group of looks. I've used this so many times that I have come up with all kinds of other looks that I didn't include in these pictures. But I have to say that my absolute favorite shade in the whole palette is Prayer. I just love the tone of this rich rosy tone that I have looked for in so many other palettes and never found it, and now I have it. I absolutely love the two shades named after her girls just because they're named after her girls and they're beautiful purple colors. I love Pizzazz. I love Heartbeat. I love Cupcake. The cream is a perfect brow bone highlight. It's a perfect base for setting your primer if you want it. I love Oh Heavens, as you saw on the lid, also on the inner corner. It's a perfect inner corner highlight, and it also looks really good on the brow bone. I love the rich pinks, the Love Lots. I love Heartbeat. I love Pi-Fi. I love the deep pinks, the rich pinks. I love this purple color called Family. Corduroy is my second favorite out of all of these. This is a beautiful kind of a vintage color of gold. I do like that it has a black and a brown. I love the grain. See, there's just not much about this that I don't like. And just as a heads up, it is a Revolution palette. It's not a Natasha Denona palette, so you can't expect Natasha Denona quality when you're coming from that perspective. But does that mean it's not a good quality palette? No, it doesn't. It's an excellent palette. This was $20. This was $20, you guys. That's a lot of versatility and a lot of shades for $20. And for it being a Revolution palette and for it being $20, it is excellent quality. I love the shade range. I love the choices that she made. I know the reason behind them because I heard her explain every single one of them. I love the names. I just love everything about this palette. The mattes perform beautifully. The pigmentation is great. I did have a little bit of trouble with some of the shimmers, but if you do what she asks you to do, which is to pat and drag and also wetting the brush, made those come off so much more vibrantly. And so if you need any insight on the palette, I think those things will help you. But I will link her video up here where she reveals the palette and talks about them. And she gives you tons of insight as well as tutorials on how to use her palettes. There's another one, you guys know that, but how to use this, and I will link that playlist up here. I'm sure she has a playlist. I'm assuming she has a playlist. But anyways, there's a wealth of information on her channel about this palette. It made me so happy to do this because she's my favorite. And when I started thinking about diving into one particular palette and using it for an entire week, this was at the top of my list. So I hope you enjoyed all the looks that I created with this palette, and I hope you're enjoying this series where I take a palette and use it for an entire week and just try to go from subtle to glam to doing all kinds of different things to see what the shadows can do. I could do this over again probably 2 or 3 times and still feel inspired by what's in this palette. So if you haven't picked this up, then you need to. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that through my editing process this time, I will be able to insert the pictures in a much more even and symmetrical fashion. You guys know about me. You know about me. I will always try to improve and make things better along the way, and I hope that you will see a marked difference in the way that I did this video. I made some tweaks, and I hope that those tweaks will make the video much more user-friendly and much more, I'm not looking at it driving myself insane friendly. Did that make any sense? Probably not to anybody but me, but that's alright. It's whatever. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Emily, for making such an incredible palette. I so enjoyed using this for a week, and I love all the looks that I came up with using your beautiful palette. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, take care and God bless. Bye, guys. Today I have for you another week of video from that series, and this time the Emily Edit palette, The Wants. And this is Emily's. I'm rusty. I'm rusty. I'm rusty. And show you what it turned out like, and show you that I'm the blooper queen. This eyelash is starting to be problematic. Are you gonna be problematic? You're gonna do what I tell you to do? So basically, I'm gonna go through and point out the shades that I used in the palette, talk to you about the procedure, not the procedure Sherri uses in a doctor's office. So I'm going to go through and show you the shades that I use, tell you about my experience with them, maybe if there are any tips and tricks to how they work best, and just kind of give you a rundown and the little strategy that I use to create the look. Strategy, procedure, what is the word? Give you a bunch of insight on this palette. And so yeah. Oh my gosh, am I ever gonna get through this today? This might not be a good plan. And any kind of strategy that I use to get them to look the way that I wanted them to. Why can't I figure this out? Think about it. Just think. Think about what you're trying to do to me. Think. Freedom. Okay, so moving forward, I'm going to show you some or not. Wow, if that was not the most difficult intro that I ever did do. Find in, fall down. And I put Oh Heavens all the way in on my first 2/3 of I hope through my edits. There are so many shades. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate it so much. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, I would appreciate it if you did that before you go, and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and if you like these sorts of videos, so that I know to keep going, or I know I need to put on the brakes because you're not enjoying it much. But how could you not enjoy it? I don't know. I figure if I'm passionate about it, somebody else in the world is. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to say that 18 more times.
You ain't gotta check my Twitter now. You can stop acting bitter now. It's that natural feeling now. So you can't change the future now.